All right, folks, that's right. President Trump is a free trader, and that's the subject of the riff. Just in case you missed it, earlier this week, there was a story filed in the Washington Post that was virtually groundbreaking for two reasons. First, it was a positive Trump trade story. And second, it was a positive Trump trade story emanating from the World Bank, of all places. I think it's fair to say both WAPO and the World Bank are not huge Trump supporters on trade or the economy or almost anything else. So I'm going to step in and reassert my claim that Donald Trump is actually, wait for it, a free trader. Now, upon hearing this, many of you may be incredulous, but I'm going to stick to my guns. Mr. Trump's tough tariff diplomacy is, in his mind, the best possible tactic to lower world trade barriers and fix the broken international trading system. Now, the economists at the World Bank effectively endorsed President Trump's reciprocal trade policy, and they're calling for U.S. trading partners to sharply reduce their import taxes to more closely match the lower tariffs imposed in Washington. Now, the WAPO story goes on to narrate that the president says it's unfair that American companies face higher trade barriers in Europe and Japan and China than those foreign businesses face when they sell to the U.S. market. The world's top banks' economists are calling for an across-the-board reduction in tariffs. That's it, an across-the-board reduction in tariffs. Well, bravo. Even if a globalist left-of-center gang at the World Bank has to do it, at least there's one large official institution out there stating the obvious. Foreign countries have denied American business market access with high tariff and non-tariff barriers for years. The world trading system has been broken for decades. The World Trade Organization is not going to fix it. The U.S. heartland has been badly damaged by this outdated system, and so Mr. Trump has promised to do his best to fix the problem. And then the WAPO article goes on to quote Mr. Trump back in February, and this is so great. Quote, "If they charge us, we charge them. If they're at 25%, we're at 25%. If they're at 10%, we're at 10%. And if they're much higher than 25, well, that's what we're going to do too." End quote. In other words, reciprocity. But the essence of this, and I've heard President Trump say this many times, the essence of his position is to reduce trade barriers of all kinds, and that is what free trade should be all about. Sometimes the tariff tactics used by the president don't much sound like free trade. Well, you know, it takes what it takes. Foreign countries like China have been punishing our businesses and workers for years with high tariffs and other regulatory barriers. Trump's not going to stand for it and let it happen. But if you look carefully at the last few months, even though his original shock and awe Liberation Day announcement of reciprocal tariff rates caused great fear and trembling in financial markets and world capitals, the reality was exporting countries with unfair trading practices have been coming to Trump to make a deal. And now, deal-making upon maybe the top 20 or so trading partners looks to loom closer and closer. And that deal-making is going to bring down tariffs. And lower tariffs and lower trade barriers will generate a far freer world trading system than anything we've seen in decades. As Treasury man Scott Bessent said, Trump's trade policies have fostered a new tariff derangement syndrome, TDS, but it shouldn't have. Our economy is doing fine. Inflation is actually falling. Financial markets have recovered, which is exactly what free trade is supposed to do, isn't it? And that's the riff.